10 huge Emmerdale spoilers for next week. Next week on Emmerdale, from November 11th to the 15th, get ready for a rollercoaster of drama and heartache. Mandy's world comes crashing down as Tina finally reveals the truth to Vinny. Nicola's worries over Angelica spiral out of control, and Tom takes his torment to new heights, taunting Paddy with his vicious threats. We've got all the big spoilers you need to know. Stay tuned for our full guide to 10 huge moments you won't want to miss. Subscribe now for all the latest Emmerdale spoilers and updates. Tina exposes the truth to Vinny. Tina is in for a massive shock when she steps out of her caravan and finds herself in the middle of an empty field. Confused and trying to make sense of it all, she soon realizes who's behind this unexpected move. Mandy. Mandy's had enough and isn't holding back, making it crystal clear that it's time for Tina to stay away from the Dingles once and for all. This isn't a friendly chat. Mandy means business, and Tina can tell Mandy's not messing around this time. But Tina isn't one to back down easily, and you can tell she's not just going to disappear quietly. The tension hits a new level when Mandy heads back to Wishing Well Cottage, thinking she's finally gotten through to Tina. But to her horror, she finds Tina already there, face to face with Vinny, and she's done what Mandy feared the most. She's spilled the truth. Mandy's heart sinks, knowing she's lost control of the situation, and the look on her face says it all. It's a punch to the gut, especially after all she's done to protect Vinny. Now, with Tina's revelation hanging over them, the stakes couldn't be higher for everyone involved. 2. Vinny rejects Mandy. Mandy's desperate to get Vinny to listen, pleading with him to let her explain why she kept the truth about his real mother hidden for so long. She knows she's on thin ice here, and as much as she wants to make him understand her reasons, it's clear her grip on the situation is slipping. Things take an ugly turn when Tina shows up, and before you know it, the whole conversation goes from tense to downright explosive. Vinny's caught in the middle, and as the two women go back and forth, he's visibly frustrated, reaching his breaking point and walking away. It's one of those moments where you can feel the hurt and betrayal hanging in the air. But it's later, when Mandy's left to face the reality of what's happened, that the full impact of her secrets truly hits home. Vinny has finally had enough, and in a heartbreaking twist, he cuts ties with her, leaving Mandy to deal with the fallout of all those years of silence and secrecy. For Mandy, this is her worst nightmare. The one person she's always tried to protect is now the one who wants nothing to do with her. It's a moment that changes everything, and Mandy's left wondering if she'll ever be able to make things right again. 3. Vinny gives Tina a final ultimatum. Tina's guilt over how she's treated Vinny starts to eat away at her, and she can't shake the feeling that maybe she's gone too far. Trying to make things right, she reaches out to Vinny, hoping to ease the tension and perhaps find some way to reconnect. It's clear that deep down, she feels the weight of her actions and regrets the cold shoulder she's given him. But Vinny's not ready to let her off the hook so easily. He's been hurt and he's not about to just forgive and forget without putting his own terms on the table. So, when Vinny lays out an ultimatum, it's a make or break moment. He tells Tina she can stay in his life, but there's a catch. She'll have to stay without expecting anything in return. No money, no strings, just a chance to be in his life on honest terms. But if that doesn't suit her, he gives her a way out. Take the £50,000 inheritance, hand back Zach's will, and leave for good. It's a bold move from Vinny, showing he's done being pushed around and is finally setting his own boundaries. 4. Nicola is shocked by Angelica's state of mind. Nicola's trying her best to help Angelica find her way back to some sense of normalcy, gently urging her to consider returning to school. She knows it's a crucial step in helping her daughter move forward and start feeling like herself again. Nicola frames it as a fresh start, a way for Angelica to put the past behind her and reconnect with her friends. But Angelica's not convinced. Her reluctance runs deep, and it's more than just school nerves. She's haunted by this overwhelming belief that something dark inside her led to the tragic accident with Heath. It's heartbreaking for Nicola to see her daughter so wrapped up in these intense, self-blaming thoughts. As Angelica reveals more of her troubling mindset, Nicola's worry only grows. Angelica's moods have shifted in a way that Nicola can't ignore, and this talk of innate evilness isn't just a one-off comment. It's something that clearly weighs on her. Nicola's grappling with the fear that her daughter is slipping into a darker place, and she's unsure how to reach her. The more Angelica withdraws, the harder it is for Nicola to break through, leaving her torn between pushing for Angelica to confront these feelings or stepping back and letting her heal on her own terms. It's an impossible position for any parent, and Nicola's left feeling helpless, worried that she might not be able to bring her daughter back to a brighter place. 5. Laurel gives Nicola some advice. Laurel tries to support Nicola, who turns to her for advice over Angelica. Laurel suggests that Nicola needs Jimmy's support and encourages her to reconcile with him. Will Nicola take this on board? 6. Tom threatens Paddy. Tom's attentions turn back to his work problems, as he's still suspended from the vets until the situation with Belle has been resolved. Rona has also encouraged Tom to look for another job, as she doesn't see a future for him at the vets. Tom fights back by warning Paddy that he'll air all of the vet's dirty laundry unless he's reinstated. 7. Eric clashes with Caleb. Eric complains to Caleb that traffic has increased in the area since his new warehouse opened. Caleb fails to take Eric seriously and dismisses his comments. Seething over Caleb's response, Eric commands one of his lorries but starts to struggle behind the wheel due to not having his medication and being in a state of stress. Eric experiences a hand tremor and crashes the vehicle into some crates. 8. Caleb tries to help Eric. Caleb later tries to warn off Eric from interfering in his new business again. However, Caleb later sees Eric struggling as he walks towards the village and steps in to help him. Caleb gives Eric a lift and drops him off to see Dr. Liam. Eric realizes that it's time to swallow his pride, so he confides in Liam and thanks Caleb for his kindness. 9. Liam supports Eric. Liam breaks the news to Eric that his brief paralysis was likely caused by missing his medication. A bit of a wake-up call, really. Eric's reaction, though, isn't one of alarm, but more of quiet determination. He makes Liam promise not to say a word to his family. For Eric, this is about protecting them from worry. He doesn't want them fussing over him or treating him any differently. It's almost as if he'd rather carry this burden alone than let them see his vulnerability. But you can tell this secret weighs on Liam, who knows how much support can mean in times like these. Later, Caleb drops by to check on Eric, and an unexpected but genuine friendship continues to bloom between them. These two, though different in so many ways, find a strange comfort in each other's company. Caleb, who's usually seen as a bit rough around the edges, shows a softer side as he looks out for Eric. And Eric, who isn't exactly one to let others in easily, finds himself opening up just a little. It's a subtle but meaningful bond, one built on mutual respect and a shared understanding of each other's unspoken struggles. 10. Jai is conned by Caleb. Jai's frustration hits a new high when he finds out that Caleb went behind his back to offer Kerry a job, completely disregarding his wishes. This isn't just a minor disagreement. For Jai, it feels like a direct challenge to his authority and trust. He's put up with a lot from Caleb, but this feels like the last straw. Instead of letting it slide, Jai decides it's time to turn the tables. He demands Caleb repay the money he'd stashed away in an offshore account, money that Caleb had begged him to hide in the first place. It's Jai's way of reminding Caleb that two can play this game. Caleb, as slippery as ever, tries to wriggle his way out of it. He quickly improvises, making a show of calling someone to prove that the money can't just be transferred back on the spot. It's a classic Caleb move, using every trick in the book to delay and deceive. But Jai's no fool. He knows Caleb's not being upfront, and this phony phone call only adds fuel to the fire. Jai's patience is running thin, and Caleb's clever stunts aren't winning him any favors. If anything, they're digging him into an even deeper hole with Jai. That's all the drama lined up for next week on Emmerdale, and it's shaping up to be an emotional whirlwind. From shocking truths coming to light to unexpected bonds being formed, the residents of the village are in for some unforgettable moments. Each storyline brings new twists that'll keep you glued to the screen, and you definitely won't want to miss a single one. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell to stay updated with all things Emmerdale. We'll be bringing you every spoiler, every moment, and every jaw-dropping reveal right here. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for more spoilers.